This is a short overview of the rights and responsibilities of employees and being a mindful employee. So, first, there are many different laws and whatnot to protect employees, but also to protect businesses. There are employee rights and responsibilities. The rights are the legality of employment, the protections under federal law protecting both employees and employers. Keep in mind that not all employers are federal employers, which means that these rules may not apply to them. Responsibilities are the manner in which you are expected to perform your job duties. What responsibilities are you agreeing to take on once becoming employed? Under the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, there are 5 basic rights provided to job applicants and employees in the United States. This applies to full-time, part-time, seasonal, and temporary employees. This prevents discrimination on the basis of race, sex, creed, religion, color, nationality, and other factors. The Americans with Disabilities Act was enacted in 1990 to ensure that disabled persons would have equal access. The civil rights law prohibits, under certain circumstances, discrimination based upon disability. The ADA addresses 4 compliance areas, including employment, public service, which ensures all public areas are accessible public accommodations, ensuring that no individual is discriminated upon based upon the basis of disability, and telecommunications, ensuring deaf and hard of hearing or speech impaired individuals have functionally relevant services. The Family Medical Leave Act, or FMLA, ensures that employees can take unpaid leave due to serious health conditions that make the employee unable to perform their job or to care for a sick family member or care for a new child. This leave is guaranteed for up to 12 weeks, and once that time limit has been reached, employers do not have to extend this time period. This is a federal minimum, and there are other details confounding this scenario. Items such as maternity or paternity leave are not granted under FMLA. These policies of paternity and maternity leave are essentially left up to the company itself. The Fair Labor Standards Act establishes a minimum wage, guaranteed time and a half for overtime in certain jobs, and prohibits child labor. Most professional careers, such as athletic training, is exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act. Affirmative action occurs whenever an organization devotes resources to making sure that people are not discriminated against on the basis of their gender or ethnic group. Affirmative action is ultimately about increasing diversity. Sexual harassment is a concern for athletic trainers and healthcare providers. Not only sexual harassment being committed against you or in the workplace, but also in the patient care we provide. So take a pulse of the cultural climate of your organization and society that you want to live in, and do not put yourself in a compromising situation. Remember, perception is reality. If you find yourself alone with an athlete or a patient, make sure someone else is around, and document. To an even greater degree, if you're working in the high school or middle school setting, proceed with caution. As a student, you already have specific responsibilities to uphold. This might include being patient and being kind, being self-motivated, and having good time management. These responsibilities will only grow once you become a certified athletic trainer. Some of the additional responsibilities you may take on may include knowing your patients, educating and encouraging patients to ask questions, being compassionate, complying with federal and state regulations, complying with your organizational policies, complying with assigned duties, maintaining confidentiality, adhering to safe practices, admitting to mistakes when they do occur, adhering to professional standards, maintaining professional relationships, reporting unethical behaviors, protecting patients from harm, being a professional advocate, being a patient advocate, and maintaining professional competence. Job postings need to be based on objective information based on a job analysis. These postings should consider organizational values and professional standards and competencies. Despite what the job is, the posting at a minimum must include the name and title of the position, the reporting structure, So, in the hierarchy, will you be the head athletic trainer or might you be an assistant? And who do you need to report to in the position? It should also include a rationale as to why the job is being filled or what the current gap that this job is going to fill. The minimum qualifications. What makes an applicant minimally qualified? Meaning each candidate that meets a minimum qualification will likely need to be interviewed in at least a first round of interviews. The list of responsibilities and duties and the minimum qualifications are what the minimum requirements are to fulfill the job duties. For an athletic training position in many states, a minimum qualification is being BOC or Board of Certification nationally certified. In Texas, it could be a BOC certification or even a Texas license. Oftentimes, you will also see preferred qualifications, and this might be referred to as knowledge, skills, and abilities based on equal opportunity. There are specific items that cannot be asked or discriminated against when employers have too many minimally qualified candidates and there is no distinction between them. They cannot hire one over the other based on gender, sex, ethnicity, or other demographic variables. That is not to say that it does not happen and that employers do not do this. Say candidate A had better experience for some arbitrary reason. They must show that candidate A is even minimally more qualified than candidate B, and a lot of times they will find something that fits that need. If candidates are equal, a common disclaimer is that a candidate fits the need of the company better. Dependent upon the job that is applied for, it is appropriate in situations to ask why you are not selected for a position. If you are going to do this, remember it takes tact and also timing, as well as proficient communication skills to find out why you were not selected. Let's take a look at an example. An example of a job posting that covers all of these bases is an employer in the Coastal Bend Hospital System. The job title is an outreach athletic trainer. So the Coastal Bend Hospital System is looking for a full-time outreach athletic trainer to provide sport coverage for CCISD high schools. The position will report to the district head athletic trainer. The position will be responsible for home coverage and away coverage for football and men's lacrosse. The position will see to the day-to-day operations of the high school athletic training services. It is expected that the person will have excellent interpersonal communication skills. And other duties will include advising student athletes on proper use of equipment, planning and implementing comprehensive athletic training and injury and illness prevention programs, developing training programs and routines designed to improve athletic performance, travel with football and men's lacrosse, instructing coaches, athletes, parents, medical personnel, and community members in the care and prevention of athletic injuries. The minimum qualifications are being BOC certified, Texas state licensure eligible. So a lot of times when you're applying for these jobs, some of them are out of state. So when they are out of state or you are from out of state, they'll often say state license eligible because they need to know that you are eligible to be licensed in that particular state. Remember, in most states, you must hold a BOC certification in order to be employed and also be licensed. Licensure is the strictest form of regulation. Before, many of these postings used to say bachelor's degree, but because of the recent move to the master's degree, commonly you will now see a minimum of a master's degree in athletic training, current first aid, CPR, and AED certification. These are just the general minimal qualifications. A preferred qualification would be 1 to 3 years of experience as an autonomous certified athletic trainer, experience as an MSAT preceptor, or additionally, an employer may want an individual to be CPR instructor certified so that they can recertify coaches in this area. Some positions are still posting opportunities to be a graduate assistant. These are typically considered part-time employees and should be working around 20 hours a week, but most of us know that's kind of ridiculous. Most of the times, a graduate assistant is working more like a full-time employee. However, when some employers look at graduate assistant work experience, they may count a year of a graduate assistant position as only a half a year of full-time experience. So your 2-year graduate assistantship may only count as 1 year of full-time experience. So just be aware of this if you're considering something like this. So we'll take a look at an example of a job posting from the NATA. You do have to be a member of the NATA to access the Career Center, and most athletic training jobs are posted on this site. As a student, the membership is very reasonable at less than $100 for the year. You may want to consider becoming a member as you get closer to graduation so you can search for available positions. This is the landing page for the NATA Career Center. You can search for different jobs based on title, location, company, or even the posted date. Here's a quick sample of a position posting. This position is for a full-time, 10-month appointment as an athletic trainer working at a Division III institution. This Division III athletic training program consists of 32 varsity teams as well as the additional support of club sport programs. This employer is expecting medical services to include the prevention and recognition of athletic injuries, evaluation and care of athletic injuries, rehabilitation and reconditioning of injured student athletes, and administrative duties as assigned by the Director of Sports Medicine. The primary spring sport assignment would be men's lacrosse with other team coverage, including one additional travel season responsibility to be determined. Under the requirements, they have combined the preferred and the required qualifications. The candidate must be certified by the Board of Certification and be eligible for Massachusetts state license, a bachelor's degree in athletic training or related field, and a minimum of 3 years of professional experience is required, or the equivalent combination of educational and work experience. A master's degree in athletic training, sports medicine, or related field is preferred. Additional consideration will be given to candidates who have practical experience with a variety of athletic teams in the Division III setting, including contact sports. Candidates should demonstrate an ability to interact effectively with diverse patient populations and with the athletic department staff. If you are lucky enough to get an interview, know that there are a lot of questions that a committee cannot ask you if you are granted the interview. Know about these questions before you go to an interview, and you have the right to refuse to answer these types of questions. But it doesn't mean that employers won't try to find them out. If you willingly give up information to a potential employer, though, that information can be used to make an employment decision, so be careful what you share. This includes on your social media, as well as what you verbally say in an interview process.